Hi, everyone. My name is Dinora Gonzalez, and I am the project manager from Thunderbird School of Global Management. We are today, we're going to be hosting Indira Jeffrey for Thunderbird for Good. Thank you for joining us. She's going to be talking about leadership, and especially now in these difficult times. Indira has a lot of experience. She's been working mostly in the professional, the finance, and she's been also an entrepreneur like all of you guys. She has launched 2 different startups, and she has a 3rd concept in the phase. And she has focused on the economic development, serving nonprofits, startups, SBOs, and government entities. Welcome, Indira, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Dinora. I am very happy to be here with you, and mostly because I admire a lot all the work that you've been doing with the Dreamcatcher program. I think it's amazing, and also, you know, to see all these amazing women. For me, my passion is to help women, and this is because you know, my grandmother, she was an entrepreneur. I remember she used to have this clothes store. It was very little. I'm originally from Mexico. And she, in that time, she had, you know, the store at her house. And also the way she used to sell the clothes was, to, you know, with her friends. So sometimes just because I wanted to be with my grandma, I used to go with her door by door by door. But it was a lot of fun because she was a great person, and mostly she also had this amazing way to connect with people. And I admire that too, because my mom used to say, oh my God, Mom, you even talk to the rocks on the street. Yeah, that was like, she was talking to everyone. So I think I have a little bit of her in me. And I'm an entrepreneur too. Now, well, we have more tools and resources that on that time, you know, I was born in 1973. So women entrepreneurs were not that many. And on that time, I remember women must be at home and in the kitchen, right? Not like right now that we have this amazing opportunity to get, you know, some studies and to be out there and to be free and not be judged. So that's very important. So I'm gonna start with the presentation, but before that, I would like to have the names and the name of everyone that is joining today. If you can just introduce yourselves with your name and the name of your business, and also if you can tell me why you think leadership is important. Who would like to start?
I think that we have Val. Val, you want to share with us what is your business? And I know that you are part of the Dreamcatcher program, and if you want to just share with us.
Hi everybody. My name is Valerie Sophie, and I do so it's consulting, kind of pretty much whatever I want to do with it. But a lot of it has to do with consulting and training, facilitating, and developing outreach activity. So I do that, as well as I think leadership is very important. I mean, this is the person, or, you know, where are you going? What are you doing? And when something comes up, such as, you know, COVID and anything, you know, we need that to say, okay, how are we going to do this? You know, you have those plans and have direction. And I guess just my little side input, and this is, that's why I'm on here. I'm seeing really a lack of leadership around. I think the pressure is high, which is expected, but there's also, you know, for us, because I'm Navajo as well, for us, when we say leadership, that's different than supervisor or a boss or, you know, whoever this person is. To me, it's always been that way though. Like these are only titles, honestly. To me, it doesn't mean anything until you actually absorb what that means. And right now, like our current president, I feel like is showing a lot of that leadership, but it's the people under him that really lack that. And that's important because we need to have those directions. You know, we need to make sure, you know, even our US president right now is really lacking that, and just kind of putting fuel to the fire and not trying to minimize some of the stuff that's going on with racial profiling and the cops and stuff like this. It's just kind of like, oh, here's more gasoline, you know, we'll just make them more mad. And it's like, what are you doing? But anyways, I'm sorry, I'm just ranting now.
No, you are perfectly right, actually. And I think that all of us agree with you, and we are going to talk about that, you know, why, you know, some of our leaders are lacking of leadership skills, even though they are the leaders. Thank you very much, Paul. Okay, who else?
Anita, would you like to share with us? Anita is she works in the Pascua Yaqui tribe, and she's a leader in her community. Are you there, Anita?
Yes, I was trying to unmute myself, and here we go. So this is me. My name is Anita, and I currently serve on town council. I also work for the Pascua Yaqui tribe as a case manager. And I think my true position of leadership would have to be in my service to the young people through my position in our church. And I think as leaders, we do offer guidance, but I think we need to understand that we offer inspiration as well, and that we're examples. One of my coworkers, and I've known her for many, many years, her name's Bridget Valenzuela. I don't know if she's on the call, but she, during this run for tribal council, it was just excellence upon excellence upon excellence. And I think that as leaders, we have to be open to criticism and constructively, and sometimes the one that's not going to be as constructive. And my pastor's wife says, if there's any truth in it, then change it. And whatever criticism they have, if there's not, then throw it in the garbage. And, you know, as leaders, we can't take anything really, we have to do our hardest not to take it personally. And there's been many days where I've cried and I've said, oh, to my husband, because just leave it, you know, a man, just leave it. Us women, we let it room, we let it boil like menudo in the back, and then want to bring it back up. And so as leaders, we need to understand what we do need to let stew and what we can throw in the garbage. So I think we offer hope as leaders.
Thank you,
Yes.
Anita.
Completely. Yeah, agreed.
Anybody else want to share? Let me see. Cindy, you've been a leader for a long time. You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I found it. I had to find it. So, wow. A leader for me is they provide motivation and support for the team, and guidance is their overarching, like that should be what drives them, and to provide the support that the team needs. So I am not an entrepreneur. I have been an intrapreneur where I've started businesses with other people's money, and I admire the people that do decide to make that leap, and I'm always amazed by entrepreneurs.
Thank you.
I would like to say something. My name's, oh, well, sorry. Let me take off the wrong background. Whoops. Okay. My name is Bridget Valenzuela, and I was just thinking about some stuff right now. And thank you, Anita, for your kind words. One thing that I wanted to mention is that leaders don't always have all the answers, but they're able to provide confidence in their ability to get through whatever the situation is. So even though you don't know exactly what you're going to do or what you should do, you don't let that show in terms of showing your, you have to have a poker face to give this community or whoever you are supporting or in service of or in service for, I can't find the right word for it, but just you have to allow people to feel confident in your ability, even though you yourself may not be sure. And I think right now we see that there's a lot of things that are happening in the current, in the current climate of the nation and the world, that lots of people are being faced with these situations they've never seen, heard, read, can't really tie back, can't really correlate any of these things, kind of, but not really. So what are you going to do, and how are you going to make the right choice? But so with that, you kind of have to be able to have confidence, be able to portray that confidence back to the body that you've been representing, that you're representing. And there's a lot of community leaders that actually do a lot more than those in elected office and whatnot. So I just wanted to make the point that not all leaders know exactly what they're doing at that time.
True. That's true. We can see that what's happening right now. Is Indira? I think we lost Indira.
I'm here.
There you are. Okay. Sorry, I thought that I lost you.
No, I'm here.
I'm going to share the screen so we can start with the presentation. Okay. Oops. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, actually, this is one of the topics I'm very passionate about. And like I think Anita said, we are lacking of women in leadership positions. Sometimes when I see the meetings of Governor Ducey with the leaders in the community, I only see one woman, which is the mayor of Gilbert. I think her name is Jen. I'm like, what? Something is wrong with that picture, right? Because we as a women, we are leaders everywhere we go. We are leaders in our, in our home. We're leaders in our communities. I've seen, 3 people here, 4 people. They are leaders in their companies, in their small business, but they are leaders. And I think one skill that makes us leaders is a skill of multitasking. And in this case, because, some of us, we have our families, we have to deal with our households, we have to deal with everything that's around us. And speaking of families, I have my kid in here, and I'm sorry for the background. Yes, give me 1 second. All right, so can you go to the next page? Okay, so what is leadership? So in moments of leadership, crisis does not build character, it reveals it. What do we mean about this? Well, we mean that in moments of like the ones that we are living nowadays, first this year we started with COVID-19, right? And then we are facing another movement that is very strong about the country to be falling apart. And this is the moment when the true leaders have to be facing and have to be reinventing themselves and have to be seeing new ways of moving forward. And who are the leaders? Small business owners, entrepreneurs. And sometimes we have also to check, what we can be involved so we can ourselves improve. This is very difficult for me to say because I know, and thank God we are all women today, but I was looking at the news, and I think most of you they check that the countries that are led by women, those countries are the ones that were not that bad dealing with COVID-19. Some of those leaders, maybe you saw in the news, were Germany, right? Also, we have the Germany president was Angela Merkel. We also have the New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern and the Finland Prime Minister Sanna Marin. The relationship that they do have with their constituents is that they advise early about this phenomenon of the COVID-19, and they took actions early. Just give me 1 second. I'm so sorry about that. Just give me.
This is like being a mom and you have to take care of like kids. This is
Not
being a
that
leader.
noticeable though. It's really not that noticeable. I guess I'm used to it from so many Zoom calls now. You hear kids in the background a lot.
Yeah, I also think that there's a lot of leadership right now, like in the making. All these new leaders are emerging from these new movements. You have all these kids like they are like taking the streets and they need to organize, so they're becoming leaders as well. I think it's just one. I was reading an article this morning about who's leading the what's happening on the organizations. Is there anybody behind this protest or anything? But it seems like there's no one. There's no organization specifically doing this. But I think it's the leaders in the making right now, trying to guide people and trying to do the right thing. I think it's also the times that we're living in is just difficult, and we need leadership. Go ahead, Indira.
I'm back.
Get the chat.
No, yeah, no, seriously, it's just, and they were behaving very well the whole morning. Yeah, when I am presenting is when they have to, show themselves. Can you go to the next
Yes, sure. Oh, sorry.
slide? Yeah, okay. So to be leaders, there is not a playbook. Because sometimes in these kind of situations, we just have to improvise. And also is the fact that if we sometimes have to create the leadership position in our business, and also upon the situation we're living, we have to be the leaders in our households. But it's very important that we have a strategy and a plan. And I think this problem of COVID-19, it took us by surprise. So I don't think anyone had a plan, but this is teaching us that from now on, we have to have a plan for the future. And I'm talking a plan in all the stages, like for example, what can I do now, just in case this is not another type of, let's say, health situation or economic situation is not going to affect me. Or maybe I can start a savings account, right? Or maybe I can start paying my debt, or maybe if I have a small business and I don't have a website, I have to start building my website. Because right now, online businesses are booming. It's just like people that they were ready to be online, they are the ones that are having success right now. And for those that were like thinking about it, having a website, or they were thinking about on starting their own Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn profile, well, now is when they have to do it, because there is no any other way. You have to be very active on your social media if you have a business. You have to be coming to this kind of webinars where, you know, from one way or the other, are going to make you think, are going to make your mind to change, you know, certain behaviors. And also, you know, they are going to make you open yourselves. In the beginning, when I asked the question about what do you think about leadership, you know, right away, someone, Anita, I think it was the, who else? Who was it? Who jumped on like right away answering. You know, that was great. And let me tell you, before we started going on Zoom, I don't think a lot of people was very outgoing. And I know leaders that they have told me, because I've been asking them to, you know, participate in those kind of webinars. Oh no, you know, I am very shy. I don't want to go on Zoom, or they don't even have any presence on social media. So this is very important right now. Bridget, do you want to say something?
Let me see.
No, I didn't. I was changing my background.
I was like, okay. I got you.
But I can if you want me to.
Yeah, sure. What do you think about, you know, because, you know, I'm from the generation Y, you know, like, I don't know, but what do you think about before and after COVID? What do you think about having this kind of webinars through Zoom and going on social media and be more open to be yourself?
I think one, it's really shown an adaptability of the humankind to continue to you know, it's part of natural selection. You adapt or you survive, and this is our way of adapting. And as far as like the Zoom and constantly being online and the presence, your interactions in a meeting online versus in person, those are totally different. And you know, at the very beginning, people were constantly getting drained. They were super tired, and that's because our brains are trying to rewire ourselves, because you can't read a room. You know, if you're on a phone or a tablet, you can't see all the faces. Sometimes we just put up a really interesting profile pic, and that's what you get to look at. So I've been on calls where the moderators asked people to show their video regardless of where you're at, just because it helps connect. And I think it's just one of those signs of the time where it's great that we are able to continue to connect. And for some people, being online and speaking just naturally, like, you know, to some device is not a problem. I personally don't really care for it. I like to FaceTime with friends, but it's not the same. It's I don't know, it's stale to me. It's like there's nothing behind that. You can't really see the facial expressions for what they really are, just the body language. So it's I think we're entering a Black Mirror kind of world where we're integrating technology with our everyday presence.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, and it's very. I agree with that, and mostly we, as a leader of our communities and our works. We have to embrace our leadership. Sometimes, just because we think maybe we are not worth enough, we don't do it. We don't embrace that leadership. And this is because maybe previous situations where we were told that we are not good enough, we don't do it. We don't get that strength that is within us to be leaders. All right, can you go to the next one, please?
Mhm.
Okay, so why we should invest on training leaders? Well, because I know some of you are, small business owners, or maybe you are just the only one that is in your business, working for your business. But I think we need to invest and develop other leaders. Like, for example, if we see someone that is interested, that is working with us and is interested more on the designing side, but she is working on the accounting area, why to keep that person in the accounting area if she's good at designing? Right? I don't understand. Sometimes it's just, and then sometimes the companies, they don't have programs where they are developing their own employees. And that's sad, because sometimes we don't ask, and we are on that same position for 20, 30 years, being unhappy. And also, you think when someone is unhappy in a company, the company is going to have the most of that person? Of course not. We have to be connecting with the right people. We know that for our communities, maybe we don't get along with everybody. So just try to connect with the right people, with that people that is going to help you grow. We also have to give the right opportunities, help others. Nowadays, and mostly with all this turmoil that we're living, go out there. You have your own business. Maybe you have some skills that are good to others. Like, for example, if I know that I know how to create a resume, just put out there, an announcement. I give free resume advice. I'm pretty sure people are going to be coming to you for advice. And that it can be, a way to start developing relationships with, maybe in the future, someone that can be your employee or can be part of your network. Also, it's very important to provide sponsors across your organizations, meaning that if you can do something for other organizations, that's great. Something that we would like you to be more involved is about mentorship. Mentorship is very important because we know that there are other women or other people that we can mentor. Trying to do a mentee, try to give this opportunity to a mentee, maybe once a year if you can, or twice a year, three times a year. If you see that, someone close to you within your same community, within in your same network, in your business, or someone that is close to you needs some mentorship, be open to do it. Believe me, it's good to give without expecting anything from that person that we're helping. Can you go to the next slide? Communication is the key, and mostly in these times that we were talking about, right, that meetings are online, we don't have any control of our employees, we don't have any control of not even our same family members. It's very important that we have and be open to any communication area. Like if we are having meetings, we are all each person is able to like handle the tools that we have. Like in this case, you know, if you're having your meetings through Zoom, you're having your meetings through WhatsApp, you know, everybody, you have to make sure that your employees, they know how to use the tools. Because sometimes we assume that someone is able to go online, but okay, is that something for sure? You know, the some groups that, for example, our senior citizens, they are not very well with technology. They are trying, but we have to be very empathetic about that. Yeah, also, you know, through social media, if it is a way that we can help someone, you know, showing them how to use FaceTime, or maybe, you know, some of your group of clients. And if you see, for example, it's just an example for someone that sells, you know, equipment for senior citizens. Okay, we'll just make sure that the senior citizens are getting the right message, right? The next one, please. Okay, it's very important to have inclusion and diversity in our own companies, and this is because each person is different, but it's important to have the opinion, to have the ideas of diverse people. Like in this case, we are talking about, you know, people from different backgrounds. It is very important, and believe me, it's great to see one issue from different points of view, because that way you are going to enrich your area of work, or the area that you're trying to develop, or your communities. That's very important. The next one, please. Okay, this is a topic that I really love, and it has to do very much with leadership, and it is connected to what we were saying in the beginning. Why it is important to know about emotions. Why it is very important to know about our own emotions, and how we can connect to others through their emotions. Emotional intelligence is based on 5 main areas. That is the self-awareness, motivation, social skills, empathy, and self-regulation. And I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about each of them. The self-awareness means always knowing what you feel and what your feelings mean. You should also know how your feelings are affecting other people in your surroundings. Self-regulation is about understanding your emotions and being in control of them, but they need to be in control. But also you need to be, if you are in control of your emotions, you're going to give a better answer to any emotion that is coming to you. So the most important here for a good leader is that you can be accountable for your emotions. Motivation, this is very important. Why do you think a leader has to be emotional intelligence and a very good at motivating their team? What do you think? Who would like to answer that? Why a leader has to be a good motivator?
Well, we have 2 undergrads. Who would like to respond to that? Maria?
Okay, I have Tulsi, and I mean Val. She said, move your team where you want them to go. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
What
perfect.
about you, Maria? What do you think it makes a good leader to have motivation? How do you, a leader motivates a team?
Well, hi. uh, when dealing with a team of many people, if the person that everyone looks up to is not motivated or does not seem convinced with what they're doing, then I don't think that person will have like a positive impact in the rest of the team. And maybe it can decrease the productivity to do stuff and to, I don't know, feel happy and create a positive like work environment, which is very important.
Yes, thank you very much for participating. Also, the fourth area is empathy. And this is important, and it's a very good part of any mindset, especially with leaders, because if you have empathy, you are able to put yourself into someone else's shoes. That way you can understand them and approach them with something that they can relate to, right? How many times we have seen leaders that they don't understand what the community is asking, or they don't understand the community needs. And this leader thinks what the community needs for them, right? That's something that doesn't make sense. And finally, social skills. This is very important now, because having social skills make us to be good communicators. And in that way, we can transmit or translate ideas to our team and to listen to them. Listening is very important, because sometimes, you know, people that like to talk, they talk and talk and talk, but they are not listening. And you can go to the next slide. I'm gonna play this video. After that, we're gonna talk about that video, and we're gonna talk about why it's very important to listen. Go ahead.
Oh, it's not playing.
It's not playing?
No.
Okay, I think I can send you the link. Just give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Rosetta. Thank you for joining in.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, I can send it to you through the chat, right?
Okay.
I think we can. So also, you know, everybody else will have it available if you want to play it later. Okay, what is it? Okay, so I just need to go to the chat. Okay, here you go.
Okay, hold on.
I think the sound is not, I cannot hear it.
I mean, that's the thing. It's just, there's all this pressure, you know? And sometimes it feels like it's right up on me and I can just feel it, like literally feel it in my head, and it's relentless. And I don't know if it's going to stop. I mean, that's the thing that scares me the most, is that I don't know if it's ever going to stop.
You do have a nail in your head.
It is not about the nail.
Are you sure? Because, I mean, I'll bet if we got that out of there.
Stop trying to fix it.
No, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just pointing out that maybe the nail is causing.
You always do this. You always try to fix things when what I really need is for you to just listen.
See, I don't think that is what you need. I think what you need is to get the nail.
See, you're
out.
not even listening now.
Okay, fine. I will listen. Fine.
It's just, sometimes it's like there's this achy, I don't know what it is. And I'm not sleeping very well at all. And all my sweaters are snagged. I mean, all of them.
That sounds really hard.
It is. Thank you. Ow!
Oh, come on. If you would just
Don't.
try to see things my way.
Yeah, that looked very painful. Yeah, I like to show that video, you know, on some of my presentations, because here's what we do, right? We don't listen. And when we start listening, then, you know, we go back to our previous behavior and we stop listening. So yeah, it is very important that we know how to listen and how to be empathetic and how to relate to the other person. Now, going back to the beginning, why do you think that women are great at to be leaders? Why do you think? I have someone that hasn't participated.
Sarah, would you like to tell us, I know that you're a leader in the community, and what do you think the women are really good leaders?
I believe we take our motherly instincts to heart and we take care of people. That's our first response in any situation. Is we are the first ones who ask, have you eaten? Are you hungry? Do you need anything? We're always extending that first helping hand, and it's just natural for us. And I know for me, I just need to know that you're okay. You know, I want to know that you're okay first.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who else wants to give an opinion? We have Sandra Jabra. Can you give us your opinion?
I was going to say, because a lot of women have a tendency to be selfless. So we are always constantly putting other people before ourselves. So I think that's a really great trait.
Yes, yes. Actually, that's it. You know, sometimes how many times a woman has to stop, you know, her life, her professional life for her kids, you know, to be there for them. I know many people. I was not allowed, but if you will give me that opportunity to stop working, I will be, you know, spending 1 or 2 years without working, just to be there for my kids, because it's very important, right? But I know women that they've been, you know, for years, because they want their kids to grow. And after the kids, you know, leave the houses, when they just start dreaming about what they would like to be, you know. And it's 18 years at least that they've been stopped, they've been on a standby, right? And is that fair? It's not. But it's in our nature as women, that like Sandra said, like actually we have a comment here from Anita. We are great listeners. Yes, we do. We are. And hopefully, you know, later we can see more women in leadership positions. I would love to see that. And I think it's about it. That's my presentation. I would like to know if any of you have any questions or any comments about your positions as leaders, and well, I have a last question, but we will leave that to the end. Do you guys have any questions?
So I have a question, like when, especially when somebody's trying to get ahead and they don't have a mentor, or they need somebody to become the leader they want to be, how they can get self-help, how they can start, where they need to look for these opportunities? Where do they need to go and say, I need somebody to teach me how to do certain things because I'm not a good speaker, for instance? How they can look for mentors?
That's a very good question. And you know, actually, depending on the area you would like to improve yourself, you have to look for help. And really, you need to ask for it. And don't be shy, because sometimes if we are shy, we are just not allowing ourselves to improve, to that improvement that we are, you know, crying. Because sometimes, you know, like, for example, if you say, oh, I would like to be a good speaker. Okay, so where can I go? Who can I ask? Okay, well, type on Google how to be a good speaker, and guess what? The first thing you're gonna, the browser is gonna bring you up is Toastmasters, right? Do you know that organization?
Mhm.
Okay, so, and you just need to click and add your zip code, your area, and then you can go to that group. Or maybe you can go to the library of your community, or you can even, you know, try to, if you really admire someone, like, for example, in this case, if you are on the government area, or, you know, on your school, maybe like schools, they have a lot of help for any kind of activities. So it's good. And you know, just go out there and be yourself.
So from the Dreamcatcher ladies, how do you feel you are leaders in your community with your businesses or the things that you've been doing? Let me see. Suzanne, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I think one way that I am trying to lead is to come up with creative ideas to solve solutions. I think, I don't know if this is a female characteristic, but wanting to build partnerships with other entities and organization is really important to us as we move forward. And yeah, I think just having the passion to continue driving those efforts forward.
That's true. Thank you for sharing. I think it's important to have the drive and the impact that somebody with a business or with your solely positive attitude is really good, especially during these times. I think it's important to stay optimistic and just to continue working in whatever we're doing. And it's a small thing that we feel like maybe it's not making a change, but it is. I mean, it has an impact to the community, to the people that is around you. And eventually this is going to pass and we're going to continue. Val, you want to share with us how your business or you yourself are having an impact in your community?
Sure. I think with me and with my program right now, it's a lot of advocacy on the Navajo Nation because we are a hotspot. I think we still are. But with me, I work with elders, I work with caregivers. So advocating for their rights, educating them on what COVID-19 is and how to take care of themselves, and looking at how you guys were saying before, you have some people that are resistant against technology for whatever reason, and I feel like even here on the reservation, it's really prevalent because we don't have a lot of internet or anything like that in certain areas. But I come from a place where I've always been an innovator. So for my own program, you know, a lot of people were like, don't do this, don't do that, it won't work. So then I just thought, but it does work, you know, like I know it has to somehow. The community has to communicate. How do they communicate? So I kept trying to figure that out here for the reservation. So I ended up doing Twitter, and then I did Instagram, and then I did Facebook, and then I did a website, and then I put all of this stuff out there. And recently, I mean, I'm very happy that I did that already, but with COVID thing, you know, I'm out in the community all the time. So with that, I had to get into Zoom. I had to get into a lot more other stuff to communicate with my caregivers and let them know about what was going on, and try to translate a lot of that stuff too and break it down for them, because we're seeing that maybe a lot of the stuff was going over their head. So I had to kind of innovate in that way to look at what was going on a bigger scale and bring it down to their level to make sure that they were getting the information that they needed, and, you know, to stay healthy in this case and to just be informed.
Yeah, that's very important. Thank you for sharing, Val. I think it's especially during this time in reservations, or for everybody who has elders, who have like people that are like high risk, it's important to be, you know, in contact different ways to keep informed. I want to also ask Anita, like, I know in Guadalupe, there's been a lot of people that has been like an outbreak. How are they keeping the community informed? How do you transmit the messages, the right messages to the people, just to keep them, you know, like on the loop?
Well, I know for right now, the tribe and the town have partnered up to really spread the message of, because we still are able to prevent it. Not everybody's sick. There are a lot of homes that are, but not everybody's sick. And so to promote that, and I think we've done a really great job at partnering. And I know that they've talked about having positions kind of like a wraparound or like a promotora type position, where you spread this message from house to house visiting. I know there's been a group of people that do drops and dash. So you drop off the essential supplies and then you dash, and then you call them and let them know that you've done it. So I think with Guadalupe being such a small community, of course, has increased the cases, but it also increases our ability to be able to spread the message of prevention, or the message of how to take care of yourself. There's been little videos that people have put out on Facebook. And so I think for us, for those of you that don't know Guadalupe, we're smack dab in the middle of just a huge urban area. Phoenix, Ahwatukee, Tempe, Phoenix, I mean, Mesa, it's all over, but still Guadalupe's been able to keep its authentic self in our ceremonies and our traditions. And that lends itself a lot of the time to superstitions, I think, about what you can't do and what you shouldn't do. But it also lends itself to, for people to spread the word of, this is what we need to do to take care of each other. And I think that's what we've been doing, the message of, I am my brother's keeper. I do need to take care of my neighbor.
Thank you. Thank you. And in the same line, Bridget, what do you think leadership means in this specific time, and how can you think we can be better leaders in our communities?
Leadership right now just means really coming together and reaching across the aisle to people that you don't necessarily do business with day in and day out, like the partnerships that you see in the town of Guadalupe and the Basque Yaqui tribe. You see that in the O'odham Nation, where the O'odham Nation and the Imps in certain sides of the O'odham Reservation in Mexico, they've partnered up and provided supplies and whatnot there. So you see lots of different nonprofit organizations in urban areas sending out supplies and food and whatnot to to the Navajo Nation, to the Hopi Nation, all these different areas. So I really think right now leadership means that you are reaching beyond the normal parameters of how you do your day in and day out. It's much bigger. It's almost like you're taking on a more global perspective, but from the local municipal area to a national area perspective. So
thank you. Indira, you want to give us like a closing message about leadership and about like the presentation, please?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you very much to all of you for being today here, and mostly for your insight. I think even though I'm the presenter, every time I'm presenting, I learn. I learn from the audience, and I learn that regarding women, when we help each other, we help our communities, our towns, our states, and our countries. So let's keep it up and be leaders. And how can we do it? We just need to set expectations, right? It's very important. Every time we are trying to set expectations, I think we are letting all people what we want and how we want it. We have to be leading with an open mindset. It's very important that we lead with inspiration, that we lead with guidance, see? And also that we define the future of business and leadership is very important. And lastly, we need to know, or we need to find out how we can differentiate from other leaders.
Yes,
that
and
will be the final.
Thank you, Indira. I think it's very important to have a positive impact, just to be creative in how we're going to spread the message. I think everybody needs a word of encouragement, especially during these times. And I think that we need to talk about ideas and be innovative in these times, and in connecting with people. I think it's important. I think it's part of being human. We miss being outside. We miss doing things together, but I think it's important to also take care of ourselves and take care of elders and the kids and the most vulnerable. And that takes leadership. That takes like somebody to say, no, you're not going outside, or no, you're not going to do this because I want to take care of, and being responsible. It's also in a small little world, like in your house, like, and if you are leading a team or leading your own business, I think it's important to have that kind of sense of responsibility. Like, people listen, and your words matter, and it's important when you're a leader as well. Well, thank you everybody for being here today. I truly appreciate it. It warms my heart that everybody's showing up. We're going to have more webinars next week. We're going to have a storyteller, 2 kids from ASU. One of them, she is a PhD student, and the other one, she has her own business. And we're going to be talking about like how like they are being influenced by, you know, generations, their moms being entrepreneurs or having like a small business, and how they have been inspired, and they're going to tell the stories. And probably you can like be inspired how to inspire your kids or anybody in your community by doing something that you feel like is not important, but it's having such a big impact. When you see somebody doing, like my mom, she was a big inspiration for me and really, really helped me to become the woman that I am today. And that's what you do. That's exactly what you do with your present, with everyday actions speak louder than words. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about next week with the storytellers. So hopefully you can join us. And thank you everybody for being here today. I know it takes an hour of your day, and I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Indira.
You're welcome.
Thank you.